Thanos is arguably one of the most overpowered villains in the history of comics. And hey, we are not complaining. The Infinity Gauntlet is perhaps one of the greatest story arcs from Marvel, with Thanos being one of the most complex and fascinating characters to ever grace their panels. Now that his big screen adaptation has wiped out half of all living things in the MCU, sorry spoilers, you should have watched it by now, we can't help but wonder what other kinds of villains are capable of doing far worse. And in the past, many have. So today we're counting down the top 10 supervillains who are stronger than Thanos. We're talking Thanos at his base level, without the Infinity Gauntlet, although a few of these villains could possibly rival him with a few of the stones on his fist. And some of these villains are on par with the Mad Titan in general. So with that in mind, let's get to it. Number 10, Galactus. Without the Infinity Gauntlet on his wrist, Galactus would completely smash Thanos. He is an entity that operates without regard to the morality or judgments of mortals, and drains living planets of their energy, feeding his insatiable hunger. A literal living force of nature, Galactus has a mastery over the power cosmic, which means he has universal cosmic awareness, is capable of telepathy and telekinesis, the transmutation of matter, the creation of force fields, energy projection, size alteration, the creation of life, resurrections, creation of interdimensional portals, the ability to manipulate souls, memories, and emotions, and can even cause mass-scale events like recreating dead worlds or destroy multiple solar systems. Yeah. All in all, Galactus is wickedly strong. He's proven to have very few weaknesses, one of which is the Ultimate Nullifier, an object that is capable of destroying and remaking the universe, so all things considered, yeah, he's a tough one to go up against. Definitely need a few stones to take on him. And at number 9, Molecule Man. Owen Reese, aka Molecule Man, has two incredibly strong powers: reality warping and molecular manipulation. While sometimes he's a bit of a reluctant hero, the character, including during his introduction story arc, was a villain. First appearing in Fantastic Four issue 20 in 1963, Molecule Man, according to Dr. Doom and Reed Richards, is a multiversal composite entity, a single creature that manifests fractions of its entire being in each universe that's a part of the Marvel multiverse. Yeah, whoa. In the Ultimates universe, Galactus believes that Reese is capable of destroying him with a single thought. He is a living bomb, capable of destroying the entire universe that he's inhabiting if he dies. That's just something Thanos, sans Infinity Gauntlet, would have a real tough time taking on. And at number 8, Akhenaten. Akhenaten is one of the several godlike deities that appear on our list, and his defeat of Thanos in the comics takes a slightly different turn than most. While he may not win the battle, he does kind of win the war, or the long run. Okay, so let's jump back for a sec. For starters, Akhenaten is from Earth 4321, in which he was enlisted into the aid of the Celestial Order. Thanos is all like, damn, I want his power, and manages to reach the source of it, which is the heart of the universe. He claims the power for himself, which ends up writing Akhenaten and the Order out of history, but it severely backfires on him, and he ends up sacrificing himself to set the universe right, with no one ever knowing that he was responsible for doing so. Such a classic Thanos move. But if we were to look at this from purely a versus perspective, Akhenaten and Thanos, who have fought in the past, are pretty much evenly matched, but only when Thanos has the power from the heart of the universe. Were he to face off against 616 Thanos, that might be a different story. Plus, it was Dr. Doom who eventually managed to erase Akhenaten from history, although arguably that was all part of Thanos' master plan. Dude has this ex-Pharaoh beat intellectually, that's for sure. And at number 7, Amatsu Mikaboshi. Amatsu Mikaboshi, also known as the Chaos King, is a demonic god of evil, best known for fighting Thor and Hercules in the panels of Marvel Comics. Based off of gods from Japanese mythology, the character first appeared in Thor Blood Oath issue 6 in 2006. Mikaboshi existed billions of years ago before Earth had formed, reigning the dark primordial void that existed before it. When Shinto gods populated this space, Mikaboshi was enraged and was forced to live in the Netherworld, remaining there for centuries. So, what can the Chaos King do? Well, he's got demonic mystical powers. He can shapeshift. He can travel through dimensions. He is immortal. He can absorb and enslave anything and anyone into void, which also includes immortals. He's telepathic. He can manipulate matter and souls. He can control the undead and can resurrect the dead, and to top it all off, he has the ability to destroy and absorb universes. Oh joy. Mikaboshi is actually one aspect of Oblivion, but more on that fellow later. It'll all make sense, I promise. And at number 6, the Beyonder. The Beyonder first appeared in the comics in Secret Wars issue 1 back in 1984, orchestrating the events of that story arc, having captured the heroes and villains of the Marvel Universe, forcing them to duke it out on a planet called Battleworld. The character was initially an unseen self-declared omnipotent entity, but later would take the form of a Caucasian human male. Cause nothing screams power like a Caucasian human male. So what can the Beyonder do? Well, for starters, he's an infinite dimensional entity that has near omnipotence and is omnipresent in the Beyond realm. So essentially he's super OP, and often, much like Thanos, his one weakness is himself, often being portrayed as emotionally fragile. Over time in the comics, after his initial appearances, he was downgraded somewhat, with other cosmic entities having gotten a bit of an upgrade to make them higher up on the power chain than he was. But regardless, he's still capable of warping reality, manipulating and controlling matter and energy, and reality at a cosmic level that is at minimum on par with some of the strongest cosmic entities out there in the Marvel Universe. In at 5, the Phoenix Force. Another powerful entity. The Phoenix Force is a cosmic entity that first appeared in Uncanny X-Men issue 101 back in October of 1976. It's an entity that has vast abilities when it comes to manipulating matter and energy, along with powerful psionic abilities that include telepathy and telekinesis. It has cosmic awareness and presence. In addition to that, perhaps the deadliest of its powers is the fact that it can manipulate life force, something that it can tap into reserves of for future generations, ultimately denying those generations existence. It migrates through time and space by collapsing itself into somewhat of a black hole and reforming upon its destination. And with powers of that variation, the exact extent of them is unknown. If its avatar or host is harmed or killed, it will form an egg of cosmic power, incubate, and then hatch, completely healed. So yeah, pretty darn powerful. In at number 4, the Goblin Entity. Also known as the Goblin Force, this entity exists on Earth 1298 and was born at the beginning of reality during the Big Bang. On its Earth, it's stronger than the Phoenix Force and has limitless power, along with an insatiable hunger, which allows it to absorb massive amounts of energy from cosmic level entities, which include the Celestials, the Beyonder, and Galactus. The extent of the Goblin Entity's powers are unknown, but we do know it is the nexus of all psionic energy. It's telekinetic, telepathic, is considered one of the greatest spellcasters in the universe. It's immortal, shocker there, can manipulate on a cosmic level to destroy planets and galaxies, it can transmigrate through time and space, it can manipulate matter on a subatomic level, it can teleport, and it has complete control over time. So yeah, Thanos has got a bit of a run for his money there. And at number 3, Oblivion. Oblivion is often considered to be one of the foremost powerful beings in the Marvel Comics. A cosmic entity who came into existence with the creation of the universe, Oblivion hasn't made much of a fuss in the comics to date. So to be fair, we've really yet to see the true range of his abilities in action. But needless to say, his power reaches awesome levels. Oblivion represents the inevitable end of all things, hence his name. He is capable of manifesting wherever he desires and can empower others with his abilities if he so chooses. He's omnipotent. He has infinite cosmic powers. He's also Death's brother of sorts. Not that Thanos would really feel any familial obligations to him, but you know, you never know. And at number 2, Magus. Magus is one of Adam Warlock's most dreadful foes. That's because he is Warlock. He's a version of the character from a corrupted version of the future, in which he is the leader of an oppressive religious empire called the Universal Church of Truth, and is treated as God. Warlock manages to alter his timeline so that he'll never become Magus, but the character has still made multiple appearances over the years. Now, according to Kesar, he is the universal counterbalance to Warlock, existing as his negative dark half, capable of all the things that Warlock is capable of. He can manipulate energy, absorb life force, he's a cosmic sorcerer. His most recent resurrection allows him to use quantum magic with his energy being rejuvenated by raw magic energy and souls, which means he can manipulate time and transmute reality. All of that and much more. Considering Warlock's history with Thanos and the fact that he's even worked together with the Mad Titan when Magus threatens both of them, Magus is a threat to not be taken lightly. Plus he's managed to defeat Thanos in the past in personal combat, so not looking too great for the Mad Titan there. And finally, in at number 1, Death. Death tops this list for very obvious reasons. Aside from being one of the most powerful entities in the entire Marvel multiverse, Thanos has a particular weakness when it comes to Death. Arguably, Death even has an advantage over the Mad Titan when he's donning the Infinity Gauntlet because of this. So, Thanos is in love with Death. Thanos' motivation in many of his storylines in the comics is to prove himself worthy of Death's affections. Thanos rarely manages to win Death's love either. Death is often at the core of Thanos' self-doubt, or at least a catalyst to him feeling wildly insecure, which has proven to be his downfall on many occasions, even when he had the gauntlet in his possession. Nothing like love to f you right up, right Thanos? Alright, there we have it friends. What other villains do you think are capable of defeating Thanos? Should we do a part 2 of this list? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more lists just like this one. We've also got a nifty little playlist filled to the brim with comic and MCU content, so be sure to give it a good old click before you go. In the meantime though, thanks for tuning in. Hope to catch you all in the next video.